This is all you get with the Yixiang do-it-yourself box. Guys, welcome back to the off-grid garage in. It's the third day where we have temperatures in the mid-30s. We just entered spring. Guys, welcome back to sunny and hot Australia. Finally, I can say it again. Every day we've got 150 amps plus outside. The battery is on 61%. I know this doesn't sound very exciting, right? But I think we are only a few days away from 100% charge here with our battery shelf. Hasn't been fully charged since March, April, but we are getting very, very close. All right, my friends, this is the Yixiang do-it-yourself box. We have seen this box before, yeah? It is called a do-it-yourself box because it is all in bits and pieces, all in parts, yeah? And this box actually now fits into 2 flat packs with all the accessories, BMS accessories, all the screws, a beautiful, wonderful fuse. Everything you see here, including the lid, of course, all fits into 2 flat packs. And it will be available from Yishiang very, very soon. So what I'm doing here is now basically the final build of this box, to do the final inspection, to tell them everything is okay, everything fits together. And we will do this together because I want to get your input from the community to do the final last improvements on this box before they start producing it and you will be able to order them. For example, it will come with these epoxy sheets which have this channel cut. And this way you feed your BMS temperature sensor in. It measures exactly in the middle of 2 cells. So let's open up all these boxes here and see if anything has changed there. Yes, exactly. And this is good old German sweat here, made in Australia. So we've got the 200 amp JK inverter BMS. And of course this is the version 19 with the glass touchscreen. Connection cables for the communication board, balance cables, power switch, bag full of screws for the cell terminals, mounting screws to put this all together, flexible bus bars, clear covers for the terminals, 200 amp fuse with 50 kilo amp of braking capacity, nice. Standoffs for this fuse, fire extinguisher, 200 amp circuit breaker with 25 kilo amp braking capacity, mounting screws. You've got the floor, you've got the compression plate, front panel, back side panels, PCB holders, PCBs, and a lot of epoxy sheets. And of course all this here will come with a printed manual in this box, so you know exactly how to put everything together. Alright my friends, so far no actual problem with the do-it-yourself box. Everything is very straightforward how to mount it. You use all the black screws here to build all the black stuff together. At the beginning I was a bit confused because the box was upside down or on a side and I mixed up the panels actually. So I was wondering why the holes are not fitting quite nicely. But then I realized, well, the handles were upside down and the latch up here was actually down where the hook is. But no, absolutely no issues. All the holes are lining up perfectly. No problem at all. Alright, so compression plate is in. I like that they use these really long screws here to give you a bit of flexibility with the compression plate. Look at this plate here. Nice. Yeah, BMS mounts here on the compression plate. And you can see an alteration from the first box we built together. This is the carrier for the fuse now. Yeah, here. So it also comes with these standoffs which are going on top of this holder, like this. And then the actual fuse, why is this spectrum plastic? And then the actual fuse sits here on top of it. Bus bars are very straightforward. This one goes here to the P negative and goes to the negative terminal of the box. We've got the same here for the negative of the battery to the B negative of the BMS. This is a new kind of bus bar, which goes here to the positive of your fuse and the main positive of the battery. And then we have this hook-shaped bus bar, which comes from under the circuit breaker and goes to the fuse. And here the fuse output goes to the positive of the battery box. So here you can actually see that the fuse is in line with the circuit breaker in the positive path of your battery, not in the negative. BMS in the negative, all the safety components in the positive path. That's good. That's what we wanted, right? I really don't like these terminals, especially not these terminal covers. See, they clips on like so. Yeah, now they are on, but there's no mechanic or something to take them off again. So you have to get your fingers underneath here and bend them a little bit so they pop off again. I'm not a big fan of these ones here. So I thought, and also look at the print. The positive is not in the middle. Positive is not in the middle. Negative, not in the middle. Negative, not in the middle. So this needs to change. Well, here in the previous version, they had obviously different terminals because they have these covers with a mechanic, with the clips, and they just pop on like this, and then you press these two releases on the side and can take them off easily. Yeah, they go in all directions, and the writing here is actually in the middle: P negative, P positive. Not sure why they have changed it again. This was actually perfect here, so I would rather like to see these terminals or even amphenol connectors. Then something else, the handles have changed again. So these are the flip handles, and they are really strong. They don't bend like the other ones you have seen in the previous video. So these are actually pretty good. Yeah, in the previous version of the do-it-yourself box, we had these handles here. So you have to get your fingers in here and then lift the box up. I found these ones not quite as strong, because considering this box is 125 kilos, then 2 very strong persons or 4 people, and then you have only one hand in here, I need to lift 30 kilos. And this is a lot easier with these handles because I can have them in one hand and can take my other hand to support it. So I basically have both hands to lift this weight. And this is not possible with the other handles. But then on the other hand, how often do you lift the battery, right? And I don't think we've got a dedicated mounting point for the fire extinguisher anymore. At least not which would fit these 2 holes here, left and right. But it comes also with a sticky tape. So maybe it just glues into over here somewhere. This may come off over time here, and then it just sits somewhere in the box. Probably doesn't matter either, but it's a quality issue a bit. But I would like to see a defined mounting space for this fire extinguisher as well. Did I mention the whole box comes also with a stack of mandatory cable ties? So I've tightened these 4 screws of the compression plate, and you can see the cells are still moving a bit, yeah? If I can push them left and right, so they are not too hard compressed, which I probably like. It's a snug fit, a fixture, but not really a hard compression. So from a pure safety standpoint, actually having EVA tape in between the cells is probably not the best. There should be an epoxy sheet as well, because only this one is a real insulator. The EVA tape is not. Yeah, this is just a soft material here, and in theory, it is very, very unlikely, but in theory, if 2 cells are moving against each other over years, they could work themselves through this rubber material and a short occurs. Yeah, this will not happen if you have an epoxy sheet in between. So maybe we can change this all up here to epoxy sheets only in between the cells. We've got a good insulation in between all the cells, and have some thin and thicker rubber for the back and for the front, so we can actually balance the space we need, because even these cells are all the same, they are not all the same. Yeah, EVE, wrapped, CATL, Lithium, they are all the same cells, but they may be slightly different in the dimensions, and with 8 next to each other, it could make 5-6 millimeters at the end. So that's why it is good to have this adjustment possibility with the compression plate here and these long screws. But yeah, probably epoxy sheets in between, and have this EVA tape just for the end, additionally to the epoxy sheet. So a quick chat with Yishiang, and the fire extinguisher obviously mounts in the same location as the standard do-it-yourself kit. Not the do-it-yourself, but the standard one, and the fire extinguisher goes here in the side panel. Here are the 2 pins, that's where it goes. Needs to be probably mounted before the cells go in. Oh, we've got over 60% state of charge. Look at this, the bar turns green slowly. Definitely time to turn on the hot water. Looking forward to a hot shower. Alright, my friends, I think we've got everything together so far. I'll put all the information here on the screen again. What I would suggest until they can release this box as a do-it-yourself box. So please let me know in the comments down below, what else do you want, do you need, you would like to improve on this box until it is a 5-rock do-it-yourself box. I mean, at least close to 5 rocks. And if I push on this display here from the inside, it is not coming out anymore. So you definitely don't need to use any glue or silicone around here to hold this display in place. It sticks nicely as it is. And it's flush with the front panel. So nice. What I've totally forgotten to talk about is the main cover over this whole battery here, which I would like to see as well. You know, the same like we have in the MB56 kit from Yishiang. It's like a big epoxy sheet covering the whole battery basically. So when you open this metal lid here, there are no exposed terminals, nothing. You have to take off this epoxy sheet first to get access to the batteries and all the other cables as well. It's just from a pure safety perspective, I would like to have this cover here. So I'll put this on the list as well. Alright, my friends, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your amazing support here on the channel, for all your donations. You can see it's getting hot outside again. The SPAT fridge will come online once we hit the 100% state of charge with the battery shelf. And thank you very, very much for almost 115,000 subscribers. That is insane. Welcome to everyone new, welcome to everyone old. And thank you to all these wonderful and beautiful people who are donating to the channel here, buying me a beer, a smoothie, a coffee, supporting the channel on a regular basis by becoming a channel member. This is all very much appreciated and helps keeping this channel independent. So, as I just said, this is the final call. Let Yishiang know what else you want to have in these boxes, what else you want to improve or change. We've got the heating option down here as well. This would be an optional accessory. Yeah, and I think they left this space up here for a very special... you will find out shortly. Alright guys, until the next video, you stay charged, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. See you then. Bye bye.